The rise of social media platforms has profoundly impacted nearly every facet of modern life, and scholarly discourse is no exception. This report explores the evolving role of social media in shaping how academics communicate, share research, and engage with wide audiences. Traditionally confined to journals, conferences, and academic institutions, scholarly conversations are increasingly taking place on platforms like Twitter, ResearchGate, TikTok, and others. This shift presents both opportunities and challenges for researchers, institutions, and the dissemination of knowledge itself. But what if the traditional model of academic communication is changing?
Social media, in contrast, offers a more immediate alternative, an open platform for sharing and discussing research. It allows for rapid dissemination of findings, broader engagement with diverse audiences, and new forms of collaboration. Platforms like Twitter and ResearchGate are creating new ways to talk about ideas. Researchers are using Twitter threads to explain studies in plain language. It's fast, direct, and easy to share, something we don't always get with traditional academic papers.
On ResearchGate, scholars can upload their work for free, ask each other questions, and even get feedback without going through paywalls or formal institutions. It's making knowledge more accessible, especially for students and independent researchers who aren't in elite universities. What we're seeing is a shift from top-down knowledge sharing to something more collective. People have been left out of academic spaces because of money, language, or geography can now take a part. And that matters. It challenges old system of who gets to speak and who gets to learn. Social media is now not merely a tool for disseminating research. It is also transforming how scholars learn, teach, and connect within academic spaces. This shift is more than just a new way to share knowledge. It's a rethinking of who gets to engage with scholarship.
It is indeed true that social media has become a powerful force in our society, and its impact on scholarly discourse is undeniable. Thus, we will also unravel the benefits and challenges that come with the technological adaptation of social media in scholarly discourse.
Educators also benefit from social media. Many are incorporating it into their teaching practices, using it to facilitate online discussions, share course materials, and create interactive learning experiences. Social media tools also enable timely feedback, connect students with guest speakers, and cultivate a sense of community among learners. Networking is also greatly expanded through social media. Platforms like LinkedIn, ResearchGate allow scholars to connect with colleagues, potential collaborators, and mentors across geographical boundaries. These leads to new research opportunities, partnerships, and even career advancement. Finally, social media has sparked new forms of scholarly communication like microblogging, academic blogging, and online video presentations. These formats are more dynamic and engaging, enabling scholars to reach broader audiences than traditional academic publications.
However, the role of social media in scholarly discourse also has its challenges that we need to consider. For instance, due to the vast audience that social media has, the spreading of fake news and misinformation has been inevitable, which is quite alarming. In addition, the overwhelming amount of information online makes it difficult for us to identify whether the sources are credible or not.
And there's also the issue of lack of peer review. Normally, research is checked by experts before being shared. On social media, anyone can post anything, and it's not always properly reviewed, which means inaccurate or fake information can spread quickly.
And when peer review is absent, misinformation can spread unchecked, which brings us to another concern, academic integrity. On social media, people often share information without proper citations, which can lead to plagiarism or misrepresentation of someone else's work.
Social media often demands the oversimplification of complex ideas, which can compromise the integrity of academic research. In the race to capture attention, researchers may reduce intricate arguments into bite-sized posts, sacrificing crucial context, nuance, and detail along the way. This pressure to simplify is just one of the several challenges facing scholarly communication in the digital age.
There is also the issue of accountability. On social media, it's easy to share content without consequences. People can post misleading information, and there's often no way to hold them accountable for spreading false claims.
There's also the issue of distraction. Social media can be very distracting, and it's easy to spend too much time on it instead of focusing on real academic work, like research and writing.
While distraction is a common issue, there's another aspect of social media that undermines academic quality: algorithmic bias. Social media platforms show us content based on what's most engaging, not what's the most accurate or educational. This can make it harder for thoughtful research to be seen, while viral but less credible content gets more attention.
But instead of ignoring these possible challenges, we can think of an action on how we can overcome these and make good use of social media in various scholarly aspects. The first crucial action is encouraging clear and short posts from researchers and students. Focusing on clear communications by making complex ideas more simple and clear will lead to a more impactful engagement with scholarly content on social media. In short, the idea is to make academic information accessible and understandable.
Secondly, schools and educational institutions have a vital role in teaching responsible social media use by equipping learners with critical thinking and digital literacy skills. Additionally, social media allows students from different places or areas to work in a group and collaborate in various activities, just like online classes and distance learning.
Finally, social media platforms can play a vital role in supporting verified and credible sources and combating the rapid spread of fake news and misinformation. In addition, we should do a fact check first before sharing any content that we see online, and keep in mind that we should think before we click.
Although this might not be a perfect solution, it still offers new opportunities where social media could be an effective tool in encouraging people to participate in scholarly discussions online and gain free access to useful information.
Honestly, before this course, I sometimes viewed social media in a negative light. Like it was just full of noise, distractions, or worse, fake news. But through COMM 2, I've come to understand it differently. I now see how it can be a powerful tool not just for casual use, but for learning, sharing research, and even connecting with ideas I wouldn't usually have access to. Traditional academic spaces often feel exclusive, but social media has opened up a different path, something more open, more collective, and that shift made me realize how communication isn't just about the message, but about who gets to speak and who gets to listen. I'm learning how to use that space better now with more awareness and maybe even with purpose.
COMM 2 have taught me tons of valuable lessons that I didn't get to learn back in my senior high school days. And one of these lessons is the proper way of referencing sources. Since during my practical research and 3I subject, my teacher didn't guide us properly on how to create a research paper and how to correctly cite a reference. That is why I am thankful that I've taken COMM 2. Another thing that I've learned from COMM 2 is the hierarchy of sources. And I can say that this lesson is indeed a great help when it comes to creating a concept paper or a research proposal.
COMM 2 made us realize that communication isn't just a skill for school, it's a way of being part of something bigger. And if we take that seriously, even on social media, we can help learning go further than the classroom.
Juggling full-time work, parenting, and distance learning is difficult. As a working student and a mother, my study time is very limited. Communications 2 is by far the most challenging course for me, especially academic writing. Deadlines triggers my anxiety. But I learned so many things, especially on how to properly cite, to avoid plagiarism, how to research or do research, and critical writing. I take every opportunities in communications too, one step at a time. Time management and set priorities is the key to success.